Is it fine now? Hello? Good evening, friends. At the outset, I would like to thank Upendra sir for having invited me to be here this evening session. This session is all about emotional intelligence developed by Daniel Goleman. Hello, friends, all my dear students, and also who are watching YouTube live. Thank you very much for being with us today. Emotional intelligence is actually the power of self awareness and interpersonal skills. And what we have said earlier also that when we look at organizations, we mostly focus on human centric side. Organizations are a group of people working together to accomplish organizational objectives. So when it comes to people, people are, human beings are partly rational and partly emotional. Emotional in the sense that you may be experiencing excited states. When you experience excited states, naturally your behavior can be changed. And your art and science of communication also will change when you're experiencing heights of emotions. And moods and emotions are quite common for any human being. But then when you experience a mood change or a mood swing, as a matter of fact, or emotional arousals, uh, of course, both mean different things because emotions are not equal to moods, as a matter of fact. But then a mood will be hanging on, and emotion is momentary. So what may happen is that when you experience a mood swing or an emotional excitement or an arousal, you will defunct in terms of your ability to mingle with others and also your inability to take rational decisions as such. Then what is that we need to do here? You see some of the common examples that you listen in on organizations as such. The boss get disturbed and says that you please do not disturb me for 1 hour because I'm terribly disturbed and all that. Maybe because of this mood swing or emotional arousal. So, our straight question to this given situation is that do organizations run on mood swings, or you are supposed to manage your mood swings? What's your take on this? Organizations cannot run on mood swings, please. Cannot run on emotional arousals and the after effects of emotional arousals of human beings. So, then what next? You need to develop emotional intelligence. You know pretty well that you are partly rational and partly emotional. So, why can't you take cognizance of your emotions and the impact of your emotions, moods, and the impact of your moods? So, that's very important. So, it is here in this sense we say emotional intelligence, in short, EQ, is your ability to identify, understand, manage, and use emotions in a positive way to relieve stress, communicate very effectively, empathize with others, and overcome challenges and diffuse conflicts. So you need to manage yourself, as a matter of fact, isn't it? But don't give way for unnecessary conflicts, unnecessary emotional overtones to your communication settings. That is not all right. So, what is then is emotional intelligence developed by Daniel Goleman? The key components that we need to understand is the first one is self-awareness, the second one is self-regulation, the third one is motivation, and the fourth one is empathy, and the fifth one is social skills. Let us explore further. Daniel Goleman says Emotional intelligence is the key to both personal and professional success. Maybe at home or at office, you need to fine tune your EQ quotient, emotional quotient. So, why then emotional intelligence matters? Can be in personal life or in a professional life. What is there? What is the impact on personal life? Yes, it definitely disturbs the relationships, might it? Are we for strong relationships and bonds? Answer is yes. But then please do take care of your emotional quotient. Better decision making is one of the very essential aspects in organizational settings as such. When you are emotionally aroused, there's a big question mark on the nature of decisions that you take and the quality of decisions that you make. So we need to fine tune your emotional quotients and improve mental health. Always with an exaggerated thing like anger coefficients, for example, or emotional arousals, for example. There's a disturbance and the stress level is said to be very high here. Are you not interested to manage your mental health? Yes, of course. So improved mental health is another important advantage if you can go in for understanding your emotions and manage well. And on professional life, in office environments, in organizational environments, leadership effectiveness is one of the important impacts. So if you're holding on a leadership positions as such, supervisory positions as such, you are supposed to manage yourself and others as such. So the leading is all about ability to influence people. If you are emotionally aroused and you're not taking care of your emotional arousals and leave it just like that, becomes a tough thing for you to manage yourself and manage others. The second aspect is better teamwork and communication will become a big, big, big question mark if you are not emotionally intelligent enough. Are you for better teamwork and communication? Yes, the answer is very definitely yes. So then take care of your emotional quotient. Increased adaptability and performance is another important aspect of it because organizations cannot be constant things and situations as such. There'll be ever changing challenges and all, and which may force you to go for changes and take the external circumstances and internal environments also for changed scenarios, manage your change. So as such, you need to have an increased adaptability and performance. For that, again, emotional quotient is very, very important. High emotional quotient is important. Let's take an example here as PepsiCo's unique case experience. EQ training for its senior managers led to a 10% increase in productivity and 70% reduction in executive turnover. The case reported as, of course, way back in 2001. It goes without saying that emotional quotient or emotional intelligence paves the way for organizational effectiveness, both at the personal level of an executive and professional level also. So the five components of emotional intelligence further explained here for our clarity. Social awareness is all about recognizing, self-awareness, I'm extremely sorry, self-awareness is about recognizing one's own emotions and their effects on others. That you should be self-aware. For example, you're experiencing anger. Try to look and go for a deeper analysis. Is it right or wrong? What is the process of managing your anger quotients? So self-awareness is all about recognizing one's emotions and their effects on others. Definitely, because you experience an emotional arousal, definitely there will be an effect of this scenario, which will definitely affect others. A manager, for example, a manager who acknowledges their frustration during a team meeting and shifts the tone to keep morale high. See, for example, a manager who is terribly upset on the proceedings of the situation or whatever it is, or on the happenings of the organizational settings, is bound to be frustrated. Yes, of course. Suppose if the manager bounce on others with his stage of frustration, anger, or whatever, then team performance will be at stake. See this manager who is self-aware, who acknowledges the frustration during a team meeting and shifts the tone to keep the morale high. This is possible only when you experience, self-awareness to be at its top priority. Then the second one is a self-regulation, controlling and redirecting disruptive emotions and impulses. Again, this is very important. The second aspect is self-regulation comes after your self-awareness. If you're self-aware that something going wrong, now you self-direct yourself, and that helps you to understand, regulate yourself clearly. Controlling or regulating, redirecting disruptive emotions and impulses can pave the way for you for effectiveness. Say, for example, a CEO managing stress and calmly handling a financial crisis without making hasty decisions is a very good example here. Yes, of course, financial crisis leads to some sort of ambiguity and all, and you'll be stressful here in handling this financial crisis and all. So if you're cool, calm, and composed, having understood the problem of stress, that's what it means when we talk about self-regulation. The third aspect is motivation, being driven by inner values and goals rather than external rewards. See, external rewards, of course, will throw you to a particular direction, but you should be self-motivated, isn't it? So you need to be driven by inner values and goals rather than external rewards. That's motivation. Take, for example, Elon Musk's motivation to innovate with Tesla and SpaceX despite financial losses in the early stages. He did not stop because of the financial losses at the early stages. And now these are two success stories. The fourth one is empathy. What is empathy all about? Understanding the emotions of others and responding appropriately. Very, very important here. See, you need to walk into the shoes of others when you would like to analyze a particular problem in a team setting, as a matter of fact. So, understanding the emotions of others and responding appropriately will help you to solve many, many problems. Say, for example, a teacher in a classroom not noticing a student's anxiety and offering an extra help and encouragement that helps you to understand, because the teacher walks into the shoes of the student, why he's feeling anxious about, or why he's experiencing anxiety and all, and provide that kind of help and encouragement helps save the situation, both yourself as a teacher and the student in a classroom environment. Then about the fifth dimension is social skills. Managing relationships to move people in the desired direction is very, very important, because that's the essence of leadership, as a matter of fact. Your power to influence people for better results. So this is a social skill, isn't it? You understand yourself and understand others, then only you can lead them. So you need to manage your relationships. That's a social skill. For example, a politician resolving conflicts in a debate through listening and negotiating. Yes, possible here when you have different points of view and all that, which may throw you into difficult circumstances of conflicting scenarios and all. And there must be a complete debate on that through listening, negotiating, so that you can resolve the conflict. So you need to look at the very basic aspect of managing and what you call mastering the social skills as such. Having said that, let's examine the fourth domain model, very popular model developed by Daniel Goleman. Let's see this. Personal competence. Do you have personal competence in the given setting? Meaning that, are you self-aware? What does it mean? Emotional awareness, accurate self-assessment, and self-confidence. Ask yourself, are you good enough in these three dimensions? Emotional awareness, accurate self-assessment of yourself, and self-confidence. You tick That's called self awareness. Self regulation is all about mastering to regulate yourself to become trustworthy individual, and your adaptability score will be increasing, and your ability to innovate can go up. So that's what we call self regulation. Then your self competence, having understood this self awareness and self regulation, you need to have your competence levels high on social awareness. That's about empathy, service orientation, and organizational awareness, so that you can be completely socially aware of managing people's relationships. And ultimately, relationship management counts a lot. Your ability to influence, your ability to lead, and your ability to conflict management course scores a lot and lot when you would like to answer yourself in those 4 5 dimensions. Now, when we talk about emotional intelligence in the workplace, what are the benefits of emotional intelligence? We often say that EQ, that's emotional quotient, and the of course these are cannot be overstated, but very important for us to answer. You need to develop high emotional quotient so that you can better your leadership qualities, and you can be much better in practical decision making. Because what may happen here is decision making is about analyzing different alternatives and taking a best alternative and all. I do not have to overemphasize on that, but then there are a lot of influencing factors that work. So EQ, if it is high enough, yes, you can have a better leadership ability and a better decision making ability as well. And the second one is you can work well with and gel well with the team of people you're working with, and that helps you to fine tune your what you call conscious conversations. That means to say that productive communications, so that there will be an enhanced teamwork, and it may help you to increase your job satisfaction and engagement, because you're satisfied because you are self-aware and you know how to regulate yourself, how to motivate people, and your EQ is so high so that relationship management can be just good enough. So when the relationship management ability goes up, it is very easy for you to engage yourself with the people who are with whom you're working with, and there is a lot of increase in job satisfaction. Let's examine the Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella's experience. Satya Nadella transformed Microsoft culture by prioritizing emotional intelligence, leading to increased collaboration and innovation. His ability to talk with people always and manage self and others helped him a lot to transform Microsoft's scenarios, organizational efficiency scenarios. When you talk about emotional intelligence in particular dimension called leadership, again I repeat, what is leadership by the way? Leadership is ability to influence others minded, ability to influence others. The definition itself is highly powered statement. Are you having ability to influence others meaning your colleagues, team members? They're all people minded, not machines, not materials and machines, people. So then it is very, very important to answer this. Can you inspire them? Can you motivate them? That's what we call the influencing ability you have. So that's emotional quotient. If it is high, yes, a leader can inspire his own people and motivate people for better results. So the people who have high emotional quotients can create an inclusive and trusting environment. Please note that you need to include others only with trust. How can you? Yeah, if you can understand yourself, your emotions, and others' emotions, and trying to influence them is the core aspect of it. So all those who have high emotional intelligence levels can create an inclusive and very trusting environment where people play safe with you to relate themselves with you. And all those having emotional intelligence at high leaders can handle crisis without panic. Yeah, especially when there's a crisis. Crisis management is a very important and tough task for people at work. So when you are experiencing a crisis, a change in scenario, threats for the organizational structure, then what may happen is everybody is getting into panicky situation, and that results in a complete mismanagement of things. Probability of mismanagement of things is may be possible because everybody will be experiencing stress levels. Nobody knows what to do, and adaptability to the changed scenarios quickly becomes a big question mark. So those people who can handle crisis are those who are good enough in emotional intelligence. They can handle crisis without throwing people into panicky situations. Look at now Howard Schultz, an example of CEO of Starbucks, reinvigorated the company by focusing on empathy and connection with employees. Always be try to gel with your own employees, be empathetic, connect with them instead of throwing them out of the scenarios. There's no point in distancing with your own employees. Play minded. When you come together, yes, of course, you need to manage their emotions and your emotions as well, as a matter of fact, because we are not machines and material. We are human beings together. So, what is the difference between EQ and IQ? Because people often say that EQ is much prioritized when compared to IQ in organizational settings. As a matter of fact, so intelligence quotient is all about your cognitive abilities, like your ability to distinguish between this, that, and ability to calculation, ability to reasoning, and ability to analytical database management, and everything. Okay, but EQ contributes to social interactions and relationships, mind, because people or organizations are the group of people. Just because you have an cognitive ability the highest, but then what is about your EQ? If you're not scoring well in EQ, that's again a basic question mark on your performance, because EQ contributes to social interactions and relationships. Actually, at the end of the day, you are supposed to manage yourself and manage your people, teams, and all that. So you may be appreciated with your cognitive ability, but if you're not sure enough in your ability to go for managing your social interactions and relationships, you have to take a back seat. You are not good enough in leadership ability, as a matter of fact. So the EQ advantage, when we say that 90% of the top performance, the study shows like this: 90% of the top performers in organizations have high EQ, whereas IQ is not a key differentiator in high job performance. Look at this sentence. That's the EQ advantage. 90% of the top performers exhibit high EQ, whereas IQ is not a key differentiator for job performance, because you have to work together, mind it. You have to work together. You have a team of people. Of course, you have a genetic relationship. The people are placed in relationships because of the organization necessity. You are a leader, you are a boss, you have a subordinate, you have a peer again, or you may be subordinate. You may have a leader, a boss, you may have a peer again. And you're working in a genetic relationships, as a matter of fact. So that's where you notice the importance of EQ EQ is said to be very, very important as such. So I have already circulated, my dear good friends, student friends here. I have circulated emotional intelligence questionnaires. Of course, there's a limiting factor here, because we need to have a very comprehensive approach of analyzing EQs, but on four dimensions of Daniel Goleman. But I just has gi- have I just given you a overall picture. So the assessment questionnaire is a general questionnaire circulated having, I think, 10 statements. I don't know, it's 10 statements, and the scoring patterns would be like this. I hope I mean, I have already circulated the questionnaires to you earlier. So let's see how many of you have actually answered it. But I just give you the guideline of scoring interpretations as such. Total score is the 10 statements given here. And if you give your marks as stated in the questionnaires, as a matter of fact, now you have 10 is the lowest and 550 is the highest on the scale. So the interpretation goes like this. Those who have answered it can have their score sheets interpreted like this. 40-50 scores, high emotional intelligence, you're just good enough, and you excel in managing emotions and relationships, as is stated. And 30-39 scores, those who are in this bracket, they're moderate in emotional intelligence, you're good at managing emotions, but can improve on some more areas. Just think of it. 2029, yes, you need to further train yourself in emotional intelligence. Try to understand, because you're not just going good. You have a low emotional intelligence. You need to work on increasing self-awareness and social skills, because you are not a loner minded. You are with group of people working together. So it's a warning signal for you. 2029 scores is a warning signal for you. It is you are experiencing low emotional intelligence. You need to work immediately on that. It's the first priority. Increase self-awareness and try to increase your social skills, or gel together, ability to gel together with others. 1019 is a very bad score in terms of emotional intelligence, as a matter of fact. Very low emotional intelligence. This is something which is an alarming situation for you, my dear friends. Please try to note what it means actually, because you're people centered, and you are a leader, you're people centered. See, for example, I give you a very important question for us for discussion. Organizations have different set of resources to function, to achieve organization objectives. It can be technical resources, can be physical resources, can be financial resources, and can be human resources, right? There are groups of, different types of resources are really essential, as a matter of fact. So for all these resources, which resource is said to be very important, and why? It is said that human resources are said to be core, because it is the human resource with optimum utilization can optimally utilize all the resources given. Can be management, or it can be managed or mismanaged by human beings as such, human resources. So when you see it's a people-based, people-centric organizations, as a matter of fact, when we say that, we need to look at the human side of enterprise. So how people are mingling together. When you're placed in a leadership position as such, those who are scoring themselves on this scoring, this exercise, 2029, 10, 19 are clear warning signals for all of them, that we need to fine tune yourself. And 1019 is deliberately, awfully bad scenarios. You try to consider developing emotional awareness and improve interpersonal effectiveness. Otherwise it is very difficult. You may not find place in leadership positions, as a matter of fact. Then let's see. The So far so good. So to understand on understanding emotional intelligence. Now your uh, a point for discussion here is how to develop your emotional intelligence, the tips to improve EQ, emotional quotient. How do you develop self awareness? See, you day in and day out, we be experiencing lot of emotions and lot of emotional responses. Are you interested to take homework on that and try to reflect on those things? Then how? One best strategy suggested is keep a journal to track your emotional responses and their impacts on the people, on the decisions, on yourself, or whatever. So take a journal and track your emotional responses. Keep a journal and write down and And at the end of the day, try to evaluate, self reflect, and try to provide answers for yourself. In case of need, you can take feedback from trusted friends, colleagues, so that you can understand yourself better from in the perspective of others as well, and you can understand what type of a person you are and all that, and how to manage yourself. Then about self-regulation, yeah, see, having understood some problems and hiccups in the process of handling relationships, now don't you find it important to practice mindfulness and meditation to calm yourself? When you are experiencing anger coefficients, stress levels are said to be very high, and you're engaging yourself in quarrelsome atmospheres sometimes and verbal exchanges and all. Maybe these are the indications for you to sit down calm and quiet and meditation, practice meditation, mindfulness of uh, things are very, very important to help yourself to regulate yourself and your emotional arousals. Then, of course, how you get motivated, or in a position to measure your goals and success stories you have and enjoy. Set personal goals aligned with your core values. Set your personal goals. Say, for example, one goal would be that. So, I today I am interested in exhibiting my cool and calm, composed behavior, come what may. That can help you to analyze things. Please note, I'm not suggesting to discount your assertiveness and all, but just to see what happens. So set personal goals aligned with your core values and see what is happening, and self motivation can help you. Empathy, yes, is another important aspect. Practice active listening in all conversations. We often say that you are involved, almost involved in conscious conversations minded. Please do not over concentrate on your ability to speak to others. You should also actively concentrate on active listening. What others say, what are their problems. Just walk into their shoes so that you can understand the things better. You can master the body language also. You need to master the body language. Sometimes they may not, through words, they may not be in a position to clearly express their sentiments. You can as well listen with mind, look at their body, facial expressions, you can empathize them with. And social skills, yes, social skills, I need not have to tell you much about it. You need to build a rapport with others by showing genuine interest. The starting point is from your side minded, not others. Sometimes there are different sets of people working with different types of personalities and all that. So because you are the leader and you are a person in charge of a given scenario, so you need to master social skills by building rapport and inclusive strategy of mingling with all others, showing genuine interest in them. That's very important. So with this we close the discussion here with a case study. It's a documented case study, and how emotional intelligence is put in action. This is a scenario of a project manager notices increasing tension in the team as deadlines approach. This mostly happens here when, see, clients warnings will be there when deadlines are coming up, and you're not in a position to completely final stage of the project, and clients calls are there, and about the progress of the project and all. Because of different reasons, um, uh, you may notice that there's a lot of increase in tension in the team. Now what you're supposed to do then? Here is your emotional intelligence put into motion, put into action. Acknowledge the stress, his or her stress, and stay calm. Acknowledge your stress levels and other stress levels. Stay calm and work out the alternative strategies to heading for a calm, composed atmosphere. Empathy, meaning talks to each team member. about their concerns, why things are going wrong. So talk to each team member individually to understand their concerns. And self-regulation offers encouragement and adjusts the workload fairly. So he himself has to adjust his diary of events and also suggests the strategies to adjust the workloads very fairly. You find the reason, very vital reason here. The outcome is the team stays motivated, communication has improved, and the project is completed successfully within a given span of time. Would you mind to relate yourself with a given case where if you happen to be the project manager on a target and when the deadlines approach, the team members are not playing very safe with the given scenario and a lot of tension prevails. So this is a psychological state when you see that your emotional intelligence strategies with your emotional high emotional quotient can work better in the given scenarios. So if you just consider what is the power of emotional intelligence as such, do you consider the power of emotional intelligence? Yes, of course. Emotional intelligence is very crucial for personal growth, leadership, and career success. It's not simply for organizational success story. It's for you to personally grow in the domestic setting as well as in the organization setting as such. For you to accept leadership roles and for you to grow in the ladder, come up in the ladder, career success story. So why waiting, friends? From now on, start building your own emotional intelligence today by practicing self awareness and empathy in your daily life. And with this, I close Daniel Goleman's quotation: emotional quotient is the most powerful predictor of performance, outpacing both IQ and experience. Courtesy Daniel Goleman. Thank you very much for your kind attention and time, friends. Wish you all the best in all your future endeavors that master emotional quotient and be the better managers of the next century. Thank you.